Hey everybody, it's me, Tom Duff with St. Louis Counseling, and this is Mental Health Matters. If you're curious about our services, check us out at stlouiscounseling.org. I remember once upon a time I used to go www, but you don't have to do that anymore. It's just stlouiscounseling.org. If you're curious about our services, curious about our Giving Day coming up in May, or just looking at other podcasts, go to that website, check it out. So today, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about, I kind of look at the name of this podcast as One Objective Man's View of Social Media, right? I've been told one of my strengths is being objective. My mom told me that. My mom said, you can be whatever you want to be. And then she told me, hey, you're objective as well. So, hey, I got that going for me. But I want to talk about social media, right? So I love me some social media. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. There's probably a few others I don't even remember I'm on, but I'm on. So, I love it because I get to follow sports teams that I like. I get to kind of see what maybe friends are up to, what they're doing. I get to kind of follow the rumor mill, especially when it comes to sports. I get my news. I get up-to-date news. I don't have to wait around, right? So there's so many benefits to social media. And in friends, you keep up with friends. You can follow their lives, and people you haven't seen in a long time are popping up, and you can figure that out. So I like it. I like it a lot. I'll admit that. But I know there's another side to social media, right? And there's a side that can be very negative. So couple and addictive as well too. I really do believe that. And I'm using my own experience because a couple weekends ago, I decided, I don't know, some Saturday morning I woke up and I'm like, I'm not going to look at social media the rest of the weekend. I'm going to take a little bit of break. And I swear within minutes, I already was hitting the app, right, for Twitter, because I wanted to check in. I was watching baseball, lockout, stuff like that. Also, I like to see if anything happened overnight in the world. But within minutes, I was already clicking on that, and I was able to stop myself. I'm like, ooh, wait a minute. I told myself I wasn't going to do that. So then kind of came this challenge to me, right? Because I'm kind of competitive. I'm even competitive with myself. And I'm like, I'm going to do my best to not click on that. And it was really hard, right? So, which made me think like, maybe I got a little problem with it. This is my go-to. When my mind is bored or when I just feel bored, this is my go-to. So for one, that can be a little bit of a problem, right? Two, who you follow and what you say can be a very negative world that you can live in. I mean, if you're only following negative people, right, or people that are very opinionated and one-sided, you can really fall into some traps with that because it distorts your own view if you surround yourself with that. I really try to follow, as I said, I'm objective, Tom, right? I follow a lot of different sites, whether, in the political world, you can say left or right nowadays. And I follow both kind of categories. I like to see what's going on. You can follow news sites that, are conservative or liberal. I can even follow, as a Cub fan, I can even follow the Cardinals on Twitter. It still makes me an okay person, right? Even if the Packers, I'll pay attention to them as well, too, because I like to know what's going to happen against the Bears. So there's all these different worlds, but if you only allow yourself to follow one side, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. And, also I remember last summer I was off for like a week for a vacation. I did not go on Twitter. When I came back, I realized how negative some of the people that I follow or entities that you follow. And that can affect your mood, right? So as a therapist, on the podcast here, I'm supposed to kind of talk and warn you about all those things that are out there. However, I thought I'd take a little bit more of an objective approach today and talk about some positive things that social media does for your mental health, right? So it's just kind of a refresher for some. And then for some, maybe I'm waving the flag to say, hey, this can be a good thing in it, but also be aware. So bottom line is this. Number one, On social media, a positive is I'm never alone. Right. I may be feeling alone. I may be feeling depressed, isolated, whatever it may be. But on social media, I'm never alone. And on certain platforms, you can have friends that you can instant message. You have friends that or individuals that will comment back on maybe a post that you made. So that may in turn help you not feel alone, because we're living in some times when we had to be isolated, or maybe you yourself had COVID or a sickness, and you can't be around people. You're immunocompromised. This gives you an opportunity to not feel alone. All right. And so that is a really important thing in the world that we live on. And I guarantee you, usually if you put something out there, somebody will respond to it. It may not be positive or negative, whatever it may be, but you're going to get some type of response. From a positive mental health standpoint with social media, I can choose to follow certain entities or people that are more positive in nature. So if I'm down, if I'm a pessimist, if I'm just somebody who has a hard time looking through rose-colored glasses, and sometimes that's a depression, or sometimes that's just personality, I can choose to follow individuals or entities like my man Charles Poole, right? Follow him at Poolproof Wisdom. He has some great inspirational things and practical things. But the reality is I can choose to follow things that may give me more of an upbeat world, right? I don't have to follow things that I always agree with. I can challenge my mind to look at a different side. All that cognitive work is really important. As the brain ages, it's important to challenge your mind, whether it be learning to play an instrument, a different language, or sometimes it's actually a different viewpoint. So that's another positive side of mental health from that standpoint. I can follow things that are of interest to me, like hobbies, or your sports teams, for example. I've mentioned that a few times already. But you can also find things of interest for you that are your hobbies, and you can surround yourself with that to kind of help you discover new things about your hobbies, whether it be quilting, whether it be woodworking, whatever it may be. You can follow different entities or people, and then that gives you this other sense of just being interested in something. At the same time, you can also follow do-it-yourself projects, and you can learn things through social media platforms. Right? Of course, YouTube's a huge one, and I often talk about that, where back in the day, I would have to call a friend, call a parent, call somebody on the phone, or go over to see them to be able to learn how to do a certain car repair or a certain any type of repair. Now I can go to YouTube, hit pause in the middle of that, figure out what I'm doing. So amazing things there too, which can help our overall mood as well as we go. Ultimately, with social media platforms, whether TikTok, TikTok gets some negative concerns and that are out there, but there's a pretty big following of different aspects of health, including mental health, where there's lots of tips, techniques, strategies. You can go to you can go to our Facebook page and you'll see tips and strategies. You can go to many different entities and professionals that are out there that can help you learn how to cope with issues, where to turn for help, resources. Those are all those things that are on social media. So from a mental health standpoint, it really, really, really can impact you. And it can give you even courage to be able to go seek further counseling as well, too. So there's positive attributes to that as well, too. The final point I want to make is I can create community, right? So community is really important for our own overall well-being, right? And when I say community, I mean, who you're around, your tribe, your family, whatever you want to call it, right? Your peeps. I'm dating myself with some of this, but the reality is community is who we surround ourselves with. Sometimes it's hard for individuals that may be struggling with a mental health issue to create that community. Maybe you're somebody who you don't want to leave your house. There's mental health issues that exist like that. And so you can create your own community online, right? Now, I'm always a proponent of getting to that in-person social interaction, because that shapes our lives. It helps shape kids' lives. But if that's hard, or if there's roadblocks in the way, accessibility, whatever it may be, social media platforms can create community, right? And so I'm really, I think that's a huge benefit for individuals. There's people that only date online. There's people that only friend networks are online. And what's amazing about it too is you can connect to people all over the world, and hear different aspects of different cultures and learn from that. So bottom line is this: with all this, that's a positive viewpoint of social media, right? There's lots of benefits out there, but whether you're thinking about this for yourself, whether you're thinking about how social media can be positive for your children, what you have to do is figure out the platform or platforms that you're looking at, and educate yourself on those platforms to know the danger points, the safety features, and the downsides to that. But go into it like being with an objective viewpoint. There's good and bad, healthy, unhealthy, and you have to make the choice to do those. But whether you're looking for yourself or your kid, invest in the time it takes to educate yourself on those platforms, and it can be beneficial for you. Look at it from an asset-based approach. It can be positive, it can be helpful, and I'm sure that you can continue to see benefits from that. And as always, I love me some in-person social interaction, in-person sessions, networking, getting to know people, all valuable stuff. But at the same time, let's look at social media too as being some positive attributes. So I've rambled on enough. So until next time, this is Tom Duff, Mental Health Matters. And remember, go to our website if you're looking for any of our services. And bottom line is Mental Health Matters.